All right, guys, what's going on? This is Range Breakers, and I guess today's episode number one for YouTube. Um, I just want to talk about two different strategies and how I'm using them because I'm spending enough time in front of the computer. I figured it'd be maybe worthwhile to just document this. This is not financial advice. I'm not an expert trader, but I think there's definitely some tools out there that could help you. Again, not financial advice. And first thing is how I trade. So, for example, I only do the orb, opening range breakout, and I use NQ. But for today's example, because to be honest, I know everyone gives their edge away, and I honestly don't think they have an edge if they're willing to give it away fully, because why would you? So I feel like I do have an edge, and hopefully I don't get a lot of haters from it. But so I'm not willing to give you exactly what I do because I don't have a course to sell you, but I just want to give you my opinion and give you some document what I'm doing and what's working and what's not and see if it's valuable. Because there's so many fair value gaps and just bullshit that is so confusing in an indicator. So anyways, that's why I'm making this video. So the first thing is opening range and what I'm using. So I'm using Edgeful, which is originally was just different reports that you could run based on gap fills, opening range breakouts, change the time frame. You could do it by weekday to know which days. Wednesdays typically have breakouts, 43%. Mondays, 50%. Breakdowns, 34%. Fridays aren't that convincing. A lot of breakdowns, double breaks. So this is kind of how they started, but now I'm using Edgeful for their algo. And all that means is it allows me to dial in my orb strategy, which I was using before this. And I always struggled with where to place the stop loss and take profit. It used to drive me nuts because I was like, well, is that enough or not enough? Is it too much? Will I hit the target, etc.? So how I use it, and I don't use ES, but this is a perfect example. I find the opening range for the beginning of the day. So I draw out what the value is. So ES is 22 points. And then I go into my indicator, which is what they call the algo. And I have settings based on time frame, based on day. If I want to trade the orb breakout or the breakdown, profit target, percent of orb size, stop loss, percent of orb size. So I take the 22, which is the range. I just multiply by 0.5 to find my profit target and my stop loss. You can play around with the minimum orb size, maximum orb size to dial in, and you can even not trade on certain days. So let's just make up a number just to show you. Let's go 20 and let's give it 20 and 50. So negative risk to reward, which, okay, and this is only Mondays. And it's just a random sample, so don't recommend doing this, but let's just show you how it works and why I like it. So you can go as far back as you want. For me, I've decided that at least 3 years is good. This gives me 4.5-ish years, so it makes me pretty confident. And I'm shooting for, this is not, I don't know that I would trade this because the equity curve is not smooth enough, but very profitable. Good profit factor. The beauty is you can change the settings, know what you're actually going to trade with a stop loss and take profit, which is backtested. And you can go so deep in the weeds and spend literally days and weeks just tweaking and tweaking and tweaking this. And that's what I've done essentially with NQ. But this way, when you go to place your order for the day, I'm going to do 11 points. This is an example. I'm not actually taking this trade. But I would do 11-point stop, 11-point take profit if I was using those settings. Well, actually, 20%. So 20 of 22 is 4.4. 4.4 take profit, and then 11-point stop. Negative RR, but that's what the data tells me would work. And I use it based on candle closure. So if a lot of guys do 5, I like the longer 30 minutes, which is kind of unusual. Let's see if we can find Monday. So actually, this is 5 minutes, not great. But this is an example of what it's going to look like. It's going to actually give you, I don't necessarily use it this way. But so, for example, this is a 5 minute, which is more common. So that's the opening range. Once the candle closes outside that range, it's going to give you your indicator to go long. I was going to say long, and then this is where your stop is. You can see it did not get hit and profit was taken. So that's how it actually works. And this is really the only way I've been able to consistently have some winners and be confident is because of the backtesting. Not a big fan of just using indicators to use indicators because they make you feel better, but they don't necessarily, they just lag and show you what has happened. But anyways, Edgeful, the algo has allowed me to dial in my orb strategy based on actual backtesting, and that's the key for me. So I can set a bracket order, go golfing, go fishing, do whatever. And that's why Edgeful Algos is so cool. There's a million ways to use it, but this is if you trade the orb, you want to walk away and have backtested results. And this is how I use it. So hopefully that helps. Appreciate you guys. See ya.